All right, we are live now. Actually, should I do my other microphone? Yeah, probably. Would look a lot better. Let's put this stuff back here, and let's get my cool microphone here. Let's actually tilt the screen a little bit there so you can all see me here. There we go. Let me put my water bottle over there. All right. Let me just get my microphone hooked up here. There we go. We should have my other microphone hooked up now. All right, I'm going to briefly or more in depthly talk about the. I'm going to talk about the severe weather threat for tomorrow more in depth here. Once we get some viewers here, I can actually start that. So first, I'm just going to split screen here. Actually, let's share my screen on Google Chrome. And then we can go back to split screen here. Wait, never mind. Let's full screen. So tomorrow here, let's see, let's get some viewers in here first. Where are my viewers? Where are my viewers? I need viewers. It's probably gonna be a few minutes actually, so I'll just wait here. Just waiting for some viewers here. Do 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 do. All right, let's see. Still at 0 viewers. The viewers are coming in a few minutes, most likely. All right. Still no viewers. Hopefully, some people join soon. Here. Oh, let's go. We got a viewer. Hopefully they stay on my stream here. Let me get over to my Google Chrome here. So right now we have a slight risk of severe weather for tomorrow across southern Alabama, southwestern Georgia, southeastern Mississippi, and the Florida Panhandle, where we have a 5% tornado risk and a 15% damaging wind risk across some of those areas there. And we have 0 viewers again. Nice. Let's wait for some viewers to come onto my stream here so I can talk about the severe weather threat tomorrow, because it actually is a very interesting setup tomorrow. But I should probably go more in depth about once we get some viewers on here. Do 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 do. Do 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 Still 0 viewers. I wonder if it's just because everyone else is literally live right now. Like literally everybody else in the weather community is pretty much live right now, so that may have an impact on my views here. Still 0 viewers. I guess I'll just wait a few more minutes to see if we get any viewers here. Let me put on my zebra socks. Oh, we have one viewer. Let's go over the 2 viewers now. Let's see. Yep, 2 viewers. Let's go over the severe weather threat for tomorrow. As you can see here, there is a slight risk of severe weather across southern Alabama into southwestern Georgia, the Florida Panhandle, and a portion of southeastern Mississippi. We do have a 5% tornado risk for tomorrow across mainly southern Alabama into the Florida Panhandle, and a sliver of southeastern Mississippi, a sliver of southwestern Georgia there. And there could be a locally higher tornado threat. I'll talk about that in a minute. Our wind threat across the entire slight risk area from southeastern Mississippi into southern Alabama into the Florida Panhandle, even into southwestern Georgia there. Some scare damaging wind gusts are definitely possible, and no hail threat for tomorrow. And if we go down here, we're talking about mid 60s dew points and upper 60s surface temperatures. So that's a very close spread in temperatures and dew points, which is really good if you want a tornado threat. And we're talking about 60 plus knots of southwesterly low level jet there, which is really good for a severe weather threat and a tornado threat, but the lapse rate will only be around 5.5 to 5.6 Celsius per kilometer. So that's one of the reasons we're not going to see a major tornado outbreak. Another reason is there's going to be like not enough instability really. There's only going to be about 5,000 to 1,000 joules per kilogram in most theories, which isn't enough for a huge tornado outbreak, but there is going to be a QLCS and there's going to be minimal capping there, which could allow a few low top supercells to develop. And with a 400 plus meters squared per second squared of SRH in the first 3 kilometers of the atmosphere, that will support the threat for a strong tornado or two if we can get those prefrontal storms to develop. And you can see here we're talking about if a sustained supercell manages to develop, a strong tornado cannot be ruled out as the storm crosses a warm front. And if we look at some of the models here, we're going to first look at the 18Z HRRR, which I actually haven't looked at yet. So this is going to be very interesting to see what it shows here. First of all, looking at just the reflectivity or simulated reflectivity. Interesting. A lot more low top supercells out in front of that line. You can see all those low top supercells out in front of the line there. We have like 3 or 4 of them out there, which could mean that we could have a higher tornado threat for tomorrow if this is how it plays out. Let's go to our instability or mean layer instability here. Yeah, generally around 500 joules per kilogram to 1000 joules per kilogram across most areas. Not great, but still enough for a severe weather event to occur. Let's go to our dew points. And those are some really good dew points there. Wow, really good dew points. And if we go to our temperatures, generally not too much higher than our dew points. So if we go to a relative humidity, yeah, and then low to mid 90s across most of those areas, which is really good for our tornado threat because the storms will be more surface based. Let's go to our 3 cape. Let's see how much there is. Decent amount of 3 cape there. I think that's one of the things that's really supporting our tornado threat for tomorrow. I think the peak time frame based on this would be 17Z through 20Z, 21Z maybe there. Definitely that would be the peak time frame. Let's see. Let's go to our 0 to 3 kilometer SRH here. And yeah, definitely a lot of SRH, 300 to 400 there. Meter square per second square, which is more than enough for a tornado threat. If we can get a sustained supercell to it there, we definitely could get a strong tornado or two. Let's switch back to our simulated reflectivity here, and let's go to the wrap. Let's see what the wrap is showing. Oh yeah, Genry still has a QLCS, and you can even see that there are some prefrontals out there. Maybe 1 or 2 prefrontals, not as many as VH-RRR showing, but this is also a less detailed model, so that could be one of the reasons why. Let's go to our mean layer cape here. You can see generally about 500 to 1000 joules per kilogram. In southern Alabama into the Florida Panhandle, generally that's where our highest cape will be there. And let's just take a sounding out of this area here. Let's just go right here where we have about 800 joules per kilogram on this model here. We will see what this shows. Let's change this to that and that. Let's see what this is going to show. Definitely, maybe this isn't the best sounding. This might not be the best model for it. Generally, you can see our lapse rates are higher though, which would be good, but doesn't seem like the best model for this event, honestly, with what the Storm Projection Center is saying. Let's just see what will our dew points be here. Yeah, low to mid 60s there, and our temperatures mid to high 60s. So generally not much spread. And let's compare our lower level wind speeds with our upper level wind speeds. You can see lower level wind speeds generally will be about 40 to 50 knots across most areas there according to this model. And generally to the south there. But if we go up to, let's go to 500 millibars, you can see generally it's more to the southwest, and up here it's going to be closer to 80 or 90 knots, so definitely enough change of wind speed and direction with height there for our tornado threat. Let's go to the NAM next. Let's go to the NAM 3K actually, but first we have to get back to our simulated reflectivity there. Let's go to the NAM 3K. Okay, let's just a little bit there. Let's generally this very interesting there. Maybe not as huge of a prefrontals there. But this could still be a very interesting event here. Let's see what it's showing for our cape. Generally, a little bit smaller of a cape there. A cape area, a warm sector there, which that could limit our severe weather threat if it occurs. But this is more detailed, obviously. Let's go to our. Actually, first, let's take a sounding somewhere. Let's take a sounding right here. Let's see what that looks like in like the Florida, Alabama state line-ish area there. Actually, let's get it like right on that line there. There we go. That should be a better sounding here. Just waiting it for load. It will take a second to load, but then let's change it. Decent amount of cape out there. Wow, that's a decent amount of cape. And we do have those better SRH values, that better wind shear with this model. So we do have some decent lapse weights, a little less than what the HRRR was showing, but you could definitely see that change of wind direction, especially speed with height. And you can see with all those factors here, let's look at what our free cape is. There's our free cape. Is it on here? 149, not terrible. Don't pay attention to that too much. This is just when sounding, but generally a pretty good sounding. You can see decently curved photograph there. Wouldn't if we could get a couple supercells out there, we could definitely see a significant tornado threat with that. Looking at our dew points, you can see, getting up into the upper 60s there near the coast. That would be pretty bad. And you can see those are almost really, really close to our temperatures there. That would almost be like 100% humidity. Yeah, almost 100% humidity in those areas, which is crazy. And going to our NAM now, we will look at our change of wind and speed and direction of height. You can see at the lower levels, generally about 50 to 60 knots of wind shear, and mainly to the south there. But if we go to 500 millibars at the same time, you can see generally it's more to the west, and generally that will be closer to like 80 or 90 knots. And going back to the surface at this time, generally more to the south, 50 to 60 knots. You can see the huge difference between all of that there. And let's actually close that, and that will wrap up my more in-depth talk of that. Now let's get to my radar here and talk about what is happening with our winter storm now. And there we go. Start broadcast. 3, 2, 1. Alright, there we go. We are casting now. And let's get our radar up on here. Let's see. Window. There we go. We got our radar up on here. So, looking at, we do have a general thunderstorms risk across portions like Texas, Arkansas, Mississippi, Western Alabama, Louisiana, Southeastern Oklahoma. Don't pay too much attention to that. I'm gonna turn that off actually, so we can pay attention to this. But we do have ice storm warnings from eastern Texas all the way up into southwestern Tennessee here. So if you're in those areas, we do have some freezing rain across a lot of those areas there. A lot of freezing rain there, which is not going to, that's going to result in quite a bit of ice. If we go up here, One, let's see, ice accumulations up to 1 inch in northern Mississippi. Um, let's see if I can find some live cameras from out. Let's try to find a live camera I can use from Nashville because they are getting some decent snow out there. And let's see if I can find that. Live traffic camera, Nashville, Tennessee. All right, we are getting that up here. Here we go. I think I found some I can use here. Let's find one. Let's do this one over here. And then we're going to cast that to my. And let's see if I can full screen that. Alright, so you can see there's probably a few inches of snow out there. Let's see what the forecast is. Let's see. Up to 4 more inches of snow. I would say there's probably a good 2 to 3 inches at least out there. But if you are from that area, let me know how much snow you've gotten so far from this storm. You can see the highways are really clear of traffic right now because there's a winter storm. You can see there's like cars occasionally, but normally it would probably be more full than this. It's probably good that there's not a lot of people driving out here. It does seem like they have a lot of these major roads plowed here, but still, if you're driving, it's going to be wet and snowy. So if you're driving out here, just take caution. Don't travel unless you have to because it's going to snow more. It's still snowing and there's going to be more snow. And right now, let's see how much snow we're getting an hour here. We can actually view that on Zoom Earth here. What I'm looking at, it's showing about a foot of snow an hour in Nashville area. So if you're in that area, you're probably getting about an inch of snow an hour. In northern Mississippi, we are getting some ice out there, an ice storm, and right now I can't really tell how much ice you're gonna get an hour, but you're probably going to end up getting about half an inch to an inch of ice out there, so be cautious when you're driving on the roads. Look out for black ice on the roads. That is typically very hard to see on the roads, but it's very dangerous for that reason because even half an inch of ice is very dangerous. It can lead to widespread power outages. It can lead to a bunch of car crashes. And we've probably already seen a ton of car crashes from this storm here. So that's what it looks like in Nashville right now with our snow. Let's get my Android cast back up. And you can see right now, generally a large area of snow here, and you have the snow forming back there. That's the second system forming behind there. It's going to bring more snow basically to the exact same areas. It's basically going to track over the same areas again, and that's going to lead to our snow totals being even higher. So even once this first storm passes, you have a second storm behind you. So if you're in Little Rock and Memphis, if you're in Shreveport, even though it appears that the snow is done or ending, that's not the case because you have more snow behind you. It's just clear right now, but over the next several hours, that snow will start moving towards you, and you will start getting more snow probably by overnight, or start getting it overnight. So make sure in those areas you are still prepared for more snow. You could get several more inches of snow from this system behind it. You know what? I might end up stopping this live stream now because I really have no viewers at all. So I might just end up stopping it right now. I might come back later if nobody's live, but I think it's just because everybody else is really live and most people aren't gonna be looking for a different live stream right now. Maybe tomorrow I'll go live, maybe Monday I'll go live, but I think I'm gonna end it for today. Goodbye.